very good serving teams. Coach Gonsalves said, I think the Buckeyes are the best serving team we might face this season. So there was a lot of emphasis on the defensive and receiving side of the serve.
And like you said, Austin, he did say serve receive is one of their strengths, which is a good thing going up against the Buckeyes tonight. And, you know, his mindset is just to give it all they can against this Ohio State team. They know how powerful they are. They know how tough it was starting out the season against Hawaii, but his team is up for the challenge, most definitely. He said it was quite the experience playing at Hawaii in front of 7,000 fans. They have, you know, Hawaii men's volleyball, they have an entire band and cheerleading section, and they actually traveled here for the Final Four in the Covelli Center last season, and everyone got to see they traveled with the band and the cheerleaders, so they definitely put on a show. And he said his team definitely got that good experience to start things out.
NJIT, they want to start against the best competition possible because it helps out once you get into the Eastern Intercollegiate Volleyball Association season, the EVA. The starting line for NJIT, Andre Alesha, Bruno Figueiredo, Daniel Latkowski, Parker Moorhead, Victor Novak, and then their defensive specialist you'll see out there as well, Ron Tidhart. He'll come in a little bit, along with Diego Lopez. For the Buckeyes, you have Drew Hudson, Daniel Henwood Rodriguez, Shane Wetzel, one of the captain, Stanislaw Huczynski, Dan Hurley, Eliel Salvatores, and Aaron Grimm.
Talked about NJIT starting out with really solid competition, and the Buckeyes, their schedule's a little bit easier earlier on, but Coach Birch is looking to fine-tune some things in these early games and give a lot of his players a chance out there in the rotation. We might see almost every single player on the roster get a chance on the court tonight.
You can see much of the same as well for Danny Gonsalves' team. Bruno Figueiredo goes back, the 2025 EIVA Honorable Mention member. Buckeyes going to try to get and block early. A quick tool to block from Eliel Salvatores. On this Ohio State team, one of them right there, Shane Wetzel. Service error for the senior out of Lake Mary, Florida.
Wetzel led the Buckeyes in service aces last season. That's one of the trade-offs with having such a powerful service that sometimes it comes with an equal amount of service errors.
Well, it's two sides of the same coin. He led the team with 53 last year, and that's at Wetzel. He had 93 service errors. So you got to think 40 more than he was successfully, and that's still considered a good average.
It is. It is. And men's volleyball, you can expect a high amount of service errors, but that's still an area that Coach Birch wants to see his team clean up.
Hurley served back. Punch up by Latkowski, but that block of the middle. NJIT still gets the point off the hand of Eliel Salvatores. The importance of tooling the block as well, especially for a team like NJIT, where you know that your serve receive is so important. You win points on the serve receive, and that just boosts your confidence going forward. And Eliel Salvatores comes back and gets the point right back for the Buckeyes, 3-2.
Salvatore's presence is going to be huge in the middle. Last season, Cole Young was an outstanding middle blocker for the Buckeyes. He has since graduated. Last night, Salvatores had 3 kills, but he'll probably pass that tonight with already 2 under his belt as things get started.
An error for him on that belt. Salvatores had 166 kills last year at Lincoln Memorial. He also did it with a 500 hitting percentage. I mean, that is almost unheard of, to be that deadly and that accurate in the same side.
Now, if you hear some dogs barking in the background, it is dog night, because I can hear them. It's dog night at the Covelli Center, so fans were allowed to bring their dogs in to watch this great volleyball matchup. So we've got some all surrounding us that are cheering along.
Henwood Rodriguez up to Wetzel, second time around, stopped by Tidhart. Reset, far side, Novak. But they give an attack error to the 6'10" sophomore out of Poland.
6'10", like you said, he is going to be the tallest player on the court tonight on both sides.
And you can see him on your television screen at the top left side. His head and shoulders are way above the top net.
He's definitely got the height advantage.
You understand where the saying head and shoulders above the rest of the competition comes from nowadays. Backline Hurley. Point Buckeyes.
Hurley also had a solid start to the season last night for the Buckeyes. He led the way with 6 kills. He and Shane Wetzel both had 6 apiece.
And he only played 4 matches just a season ago before he had a season-ending lower body injury. But in those 4 matches, he had 27 kills in 12 days.
Coach Birch said having him back is going to make such a difference for the Buckeyes.
Push back over. Buckeyes save. Back on the attack. That's Hachinsky. Moorhead tosses it over. Up in the middle, Aaron Grimm gets involved and gets his first kill of the night.
Ohio State has been able to get so many different players involved in their offense, and that's one of the things Coach Birch said heading into this season. It's some of the best team chemistry he's seen, and he said they don't always have to be together off the court, but he says they're always spending time together, really growing that bond, and it's showing. Second game in the season.
They go back to Hachinsky. Goes off the defense. Goes out. Victor Novak, when you're getting down on those with how difficult they are served, it's almost impossible to do it. And Danny Gonzalez wants a timeout as his team down by 4. Buckeyes up 7-3 in set 1. We'll step aside on Big Ten Plus. Out of the timeout, Ohio State 7, NJIT 3. Here at the Covelli Center in Columbus, Ohio on Big Ten Plus. She's Hannah Wilford, I'm Austin Kroom. Thank you for joining us.
I think that was a smart time for Coach Gonsalves to call a timeout. Some coaches wait until you're down by 6, 7, 8, but Ohio State started to pull away just a little bit, and he wants to break up that momentum.
Strong serve by Henwood Rodriguez off the hands of Alacia. Buckeye reset on the free ball. Henwood up to Hurley. Saved again. Over at the far side, pushed by Moorhead, and he gets the point off the Buckeye block. Good story as well with Parker Moorhead. When we talked to head coach Danny Gonsalves, he said this is his first year playing, and he is technically a junior in academic standings. He had ACL injuries and had surgery, and Coach Gonsalves said, I hadn't seen him play since AAU in high school, since before the beginning of the season. He said, hey, I haven't seen this in a long time. Good to see you back out there and already getting involved early.
Yeah, it's great to see players come back from injuries like that, and his whole team so happy for him to be back. Look at the way the Highlanders have responded out of that timeout, closing the gap now to just 2 points. Looks like Coach Birch does have some questions for the down official, though.
Interested to know what it was, because Andre Alacia was a clean hit top to bottom.
Looks like Coach Birch isn't going to use a challenge card, but just wanted a little bit of clarification there.
It seemed like, based on the far judge, it was like a punching motion. He was potentially interested on the upwards velocity or the upwards hit of the ball potentially. Now just a 2-point advantage for the Buckeyes, 7-5. And Wood Rodriguez too far over. NJIT will take advantage. Figueiredo set up. Bobkovsky. Far side for Tidhar. Flip back Novak. And the Buckeyes get the point. The beauty as well of Shane Wetzel here, Hannah. Not only is he just such a force offensively, but defensively, as we just saw right there, he can help on both sides of the ball.
He can do everything, and we already talked about his serving as well. Talk about serving.
There's Hachinsky.
Yeah, big ace from Hachinsky. The first ace of the day for the Buckeyes, and Hachinsky in his sophomore season now. He was so impactful as a freshman, so it's amazing to see what he'll be able to do now that he has a year of experience under his belt. He's from Poland originally, and Coach Birch just gave him so much credit for how he adjusted last season to American culture and English and everything, and then was still able to make such an impact for Ohio State in their season last year. They were 17-7.
And you even look at the on-court expectations for this season. Birch expects a big season, especially in the growth in serving and passing. And we saw one good serve, and then, of course, the error on the opposite side of things. But, again, we've talked about that happening. It's kind of part of the game of men's volleyball.
Yes, it's to be expected, and there's the defense as well from Hachinsky.
Oh, my. Punch over and saved Aaron Grimm, and it gets out of the reach of everyone. Andrew Fidmasu, the middle, was playing behind the back line to try and defend it. And talk about the Polish roots as well for Hachinsky. He and Victor Novak grew up together in Poland. They're actually really good friends. So them going against each other this season and last year as well helps their friendly rivalry.
Yeah, Coach Consalvis gave us that little bit of info. He said, it's always nice when you have a friend on the other team.
Alicia's last kill, keeping NJIT in it. Highlanders only down 3. Off Hurley, back to him. Right into the breadbasket as well. Alicia couldn't stop it.
Hurley gets his second kill of the night.
Hannah, you might be noticing this as well. The last few seasons, without Jacob Pasture, who was one of the spearheads for this Ohio State program, as there's an ace for Wetzel, is that the love has been spread around offensively. You can see you're not just going to have one person with 600 kills. You're going to have a couple people in the hundreds. The aces are going around. The assists are up more. It seems like more team-led volleyball now that we're seeing from Coach Birch.
Exactly. There's a lot of offensive depth, which really works the advantage of the Buckeyes. A little bit of miscommunication there in the back row from Wetzel and Hachinsky.
Parker Moorhead just found an open space.
Yeah, Hachinsky and Wetzel just kind of looked at each other there. They weren't sure which one was supposed to go for it, but the Highlanders doing a great job of staying in this, like you said, just down 4.
Alicia back. Did he get that back corner? Yes, he did. An ace for the freshman.
And these are some of those errors that Coach Birch said he wants his team to clean up. Letting one fall on the line, it's a little bit of miscommunication, and you can expect it. He said, this is January volleyball. This is what you can expect early on, and that's what these early non-conference games are for, having a chance to clean up those errors.
Hachinsky right off the defense. You have to think as well, for the Highlanders, with this being their 3rd game in 5 days or 4 days or so, you think obviously they're very tired going across the country, but also you now have 2 games under your belt to help you go forward against the Buckeyes, who had won last night against an opponent that was not the difficulty level of number 2 Hawaii. Another service error for the Buckeyes. It's 13-10.
So the Buckeyes have 4 service errors already. Here's a good thing, though. They do not have any attacking errors, so they've been pretty clean on the attack.
Again, 27 last night errors-wise for the Buckeyes. You mentioned in the beginning of our open, Hannah, Coach Birch would like that down to 7 per set. So, you know, if you go to 3, you get 21. You're beneath the average. But again, just the beginning of the season. Salvatores with a hard serve. And better pinpoint accuracy from the Glen Island redshirt sophomore Parker Moorhead.
He gets his second kill as well, and that was just great placement. And the Highlanders have had a great job of breaking down Ohio State's back row. Buckeyes have been a little stagnant in the back row.
Novak with a curveball, and it's within 2.
Lack of movement from Ohio State. Like I said, a little stagnant back there. And lack of communication of calling those serves in or out. That's the second serve we've seen land on the line with no effort to receive it.
I mean, those are about as difficult as they can get. We were down on the court itself. Another curveball and another ace. And we're watching them, as, of course, we're trying to protect ourselves, not get hit. And you can see the curve that they have and the wind path that it takes, and it almost seems improbable that you can successfully get it off the ground.
Yeah, and just like that, NJIT is within 1 point of Ohio State.
Novak keeps that one up. Buckeyes would like to answer back with a point, and they do. Stanislaw Haczynski. Substitution in as well. Henwood Rodriguez goes out for the Buckeyes, their setter. And Christian Teresi, their freshman center out of Chicago, Illinois, comes in for his second collegiate match. Played in every single set yesterday. Had an assist and an ace to go along with the dig. Top of the tape, keeps it up. Off the shoulder. And out of the reach of everyone. Two matches played between these two programs last year, Hannah. Ohio State won both of them 3-0. But something that stuck out to me, the first set specifically, in the first and second match, Ohio State only won them by 2, and they had to go over the 25-point threshold. Curveball serve saved alive. You can hear NJIT screaming out as that came off the hands of Haczynski. Everybody just got down, and we're tied at 15.
Yeah, you can hear NJIT. They're very vocal in their communication, and that's something the Buckeyes have been lacking a little bit, that communication in the back row.
Down save from Drew Hudson. Too strong from Alacia.
You might notice Ohio State's bench area looks a little smaller than it has in years past. They only have 16 players on their roster. In comparison to previous seasons, they had 21. So that was a change they were required to make by the NCAA.
Smack down Alacia again. He's electric.
He is, like we said, stands at 6'10". That's his third kill of the night.
Going back to that 16-man roster as well, we asked Coach Birch in a follow-up, and said, how does that differ practice? How does that differ game plan? He said, you know, in all honesty, we would love the 21, but we're going to work with what we got. But it means that everyone on the roster this year is going to play. Everyone is going to have a crucial role on the offense and defense when it comes to trying to not only win the MIVA, but get back to the NCAA tournament and potentially try to win a title.
Yeah, he said the reality is everybody is one spot away from the starting lineup.
Yeah. There's some trickery. 3-0 victory over Central State. NJIT 0-2 after 2 losses at number 2 Hawaii at the beginning of the week. Would love to take the first set against the number 14 team in the country, and instead they turn it over on a service error.
Buckeyes get the coach's point out of the timeout. And Wetzel's back to serve. He has 1 ace on the day, but he also does have a service error as well.
Going to give himself a lot of running room for it, and he adds another error. Would you call that the coach's point to NJIT? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I know it's out of the timeout and they get the ball back, but.
Yeah.
Andre Alacia, freshman outside hitter. Keeps it in off the hands of Hudson. Back to Wetzel, and he's got it.
It's been a very competitive first set, a lot of back and forth, and Buckeyes have beat themselves a little bit with some errors, but NJIT, that's not to take away from what they've done. They've been able to place the ball both with their attacks and with their serving in some great areas that have had Ohio State struggling.
Hurley with a good serve in his own right. And Moorhead, he's done that multiple times. Find good spots, but too far over on the fingertips. And a net violation. You can even see Coach Birch, yes, they got the point back. He walked right up to Salvatore and said, hey, you're standing too close. That ball's going to go right past you. Got bailed out on one. Hurley got it over, and Moorhead gets his point that time. Tied at 20. Daniel Lotkowski is the offensive-minded middle. And he'll flip it back over to the Buckeyes.
That was another close one on the line, but the Buckeyes got the point there. When we look at service errors, Ohio State has 5 so far, and so does NJIT. So when you think of it that way, they sort of cancel each other out.
NJIT does have one more ace, 3-2 in that column. Trying to capitalize here. Right into the arms of Henwood Rodriguez.
One of the things that makes Henwood Rodriguez so effective as a setter is he might not have the height that some of the attackers have, but he still does a great job blocking, as we just saw there.
A timeout taken by Coach Gonsalves. Buckeyes just need 3 points to take set 1. We'll come back when we return. Buckeyes just need 3 to take set 1 against the Highlanders out of NJIT. Eliel Salvatores, the junior middle.
NJIT used their final timeout of the set. So they just have to play this one through.
Slow one from Salvatores, and it worked. Normally you use that as a way to just grind out a rally, and instead it goes off the fingertips.
Salvatores has had a great first set so far, 2 kills and an ace, so he's contributed 3 points to the Buckeyes.
Tried to get another ace there, instead it was so powerful it went back to his side. And set it up for Hurley. Behind the back save for Lopez. Over the top, off the hands, and a point Buckeyes.
It's set point for Ohio State. NJIT has done a solid job. They even took the lead at one point, but the Buckeyes took their lead back and are looking to close it out here.
Right into the net, service error. 1 ace, 2 errors for Elio. Novak tried to sneak it and didn't get it, and gives the Buckeyes the set point as they win the first set, 25-21.
Buckeyes did a great job, like I said, of fighting back. They were led by Stanislaw Haczynski with 4 kills in set number 1.
Haczynski with 4.
Finding that back line with both their serves and their kills.
Just based on the way they're playing, you would have no idea that they, got off a plane yesterday or 2 days ago, were in New Jersey for 1 day of practice, and then hopped on a plane last night to fly to Columbus. I mean, their turnaround is something you don't see typically in anything other than maybe baseball with a weekend series and then a Tuesday midweek. But 5 matches in a week is almost unheard of.
And that wasn't an easy flight. Hawaii's a long ways away, so I'm sure they had a little jet lag as well.
Wetzel got the first point, then right into the net to make it 1-1. I mean, when you're flying, Honolulu to Newark?
Yeah.
That's, I give a lot of credit to anybody, strong enough to be able to do that flight, let alone when the average team height is, 6'5"? I was going to say, my leg room normally isn't enough, and I'm, 5'11" on a good day. Alacia flips sides and got it off the fingertips. Which for Alacia, great story with him as well. Has only been with the team for a few weeks. He just joined NJIT this spring semester, so spring of 26. In his first collegiate game at Hawaii, he had a double-double, 10 kills and 10 digs.
Yeah, he's doing an amazing job. Originally from Brazil. His first semester of college ever, and it's off to a great start.
Big rally saved by the Buckeyes. We'll see if they end with the points. They do. Hurley with a cross-court kill. Hurley might have been the name that stuck out the most while talking with Coach Birch. Said that he's going to stand out the most, and his upside, is just so incredible. He can play both the opposite and near side of the pins. He's 6'8".
And like you said, he
uber athletic, right there.
Yeah, he's showing it. Buckeyes couldn't quite get that one over, but like you said, he was injured last season and unfortunately had to miss the majority of the season. So having him back out there, it makes such a difference. Well,
then you even go back to the difference of a 21-man roster to 16. Having somebody like Hurley being healthy is so crucial to the success of this Buckeye team. Henwood Rodriguez, slow floater to Haczynski. Back over Moorhead. And they give the points to NJIT. Coach Birch not necessarily the happiest with his team's defense. Breathe a little easier after an error like that one. Don't have to move too much, get the ball back, get the point back.
That's an easy one. They don't have to communicate that one's out. That one was easy to tell. Buckeyes still trailing. And they caught themselves down a couple times, only by 1 point in that first set. Here they are down 2.
Salvatore for the second straight service error. And now it makes so much more sense to hear from Birch that we have to limit these errors. Just because when your defense doesn't have to move a muscle and they get a point and the ball back, it only makes it easier. NJIT trying to make it a little difficult. Wetzel to the open court.
And that one is assisted by Stanislaw Haczynski. He pushed that one cross court, a beautiful set. Haczynski, another player who can do a little bit of everything.
That's the definition of an out-of-system offense. Normally it's the setter, Daniel Henwood Rodriguez, setting it up. Haczynski's an outside hitter. He had 42 assists last season. So as much as it's considered out of system, might be a trick play. And Hurley with a dive save. Same with Tidhar. And out of the way of the defense. Even at 5-5. Line drive right to Alacia. Set up Latkowski, and Novak palms it. Looked like a good setup, and even follow through, but when you hit it with the open part of your hand, not only does it hurt, but it goes out of the playing field. A soft one that worked in favor of Henwood Rodriguez. He looked at his hand like he didn't do it properly, and Daniel Latkowski looked at his hand because he didn't field it properly.
Sometimes those are the types of serves that work out the best. Well, that's the second one like that we've seen from Ohio State tonight.
Yeah, when you're on the playing field, sometimes it happens so fast you don't realize what happened. It's more of a nervous serve you'll see. Back over Novak. Saved again, reset. The 6'10er hits it again right to Henwood Rodriguez. And Wetzel strikes. 8-5 Buckeyes. And a timeout for Coach Gonsalves. If it gets any further out of reach, just by 3, it can be hard to climb back. He'll try to stop it as we take a break. Buckeyes up 3 on Big Ten Plus. Back out of the break. The Highlanders going to try to get this one a little bit closer. Henwood Rodriguez, the setter. Been to that service line a decent bit tonight. So far, he's been pretty successful. Off the top of the tape. Just off that back corner. That was his first service error as well. So even at 1 apiece, 1 ace and 1 error. Nine to 6 now. Huczynski, who had 40 aces last season, collects another one here.
Absolutely dominated that one. I mean, it's just so difficult to get underneath a serve like this. He has so much power. We were joking before the game. We know how much power there is because we've both been hit in the head with one of the balls.
It's not fun.
No,
not at all.
During warm-ups even, so they're probably not even going full out.
Huczynski with an error. By the way, that was his second ace of the match so far. And no, you'd be very correct. It's not a fun time. You said you were seeing stars.
I was hit right in the forehead by a serve during warm-ups. I was seeing stars down there.
My goodness. Not today. Not today.
Not today. No, not today.
Just making it clear. But It's happened in previous seasons. Great save from Ron Tidhar. And the dual block for the Buckeyes. Hurley and Wetzel collect it.
Buckeyes starting to really establish their offense. 15 kills so far and only 3 attacking errors across the entire first set, and here almost halfway into the second.
Grimm threw a curveball. Alacia pushed it down, and the Buckeyes are back offensively. Like clockwork, Shane Wetzel from the opposite side.
4 kills for Wetzel, and like I said, took a little bit to really get their offense going, but it's starting to explode. Wetzel has 4 kills, Haczynski has 5, Hurley has 3, Salvatores has 2, Grimm has 2. So like you said, that offensive depth that maybe was lacking in years past, we're really seeing it play out so far tonight and even last night.
And it's not like these kills are coming on silver platters either. I mean, some of them you really have to dig deep to find them. That one's off the hands of Moorhead. Dual block stop as well. Flip back Novak. Wetzel pushed it off the block.
Wow, a little bit of a joust at the net we saw there, but Shane Wetzel got up there, pushed it off, and like you said, it's not coming on a silver platter. They've had to work for these points. And even with that, though, NJIT still sticking in there. They just have to be careful. They only have 1 timeout left in this second set.
Grimm off the hands of the libero, Tidhar. A backline shot right to the arms. Hurley and Wetzel, they've had 3 of them this set, and all of them have been blocked perfectly. Might have had the net help them with that one as well.
There's been great officiating, though, so far into this second set. Neither team has needed to use a challenge card, and they have 3 of them to use. So there haven't been any close calls.
That fake down from Adam Urenyuk. And the Buckeye attack, too strong. And you talk about those challenges as well. If they get an extra one this season, so now 3. And then if it makes it to a set 5, both teams granted an extra. Daniel Latkowski right to Hurley. Back to Hurley from Henwood Rodriguez in a clear attack error.
Hurley going for the cross-court shot there, but he knew right after he swung on it.
And you just saw the reverberation of the net itself, and you're like, yeah, that's probably not going to swing. Saw it there as well in the error. Obviously, a very big question for Coach Gonsalves for NJIT was, we are a team that prides ourselves on our serve-receive, but when you go up against a team as strong as the Buckeyes, how do you do? And I say, it has held up extremely well so far in 2 sets.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw it again there.
Nice tool to block on a tap over from Andrew Fedmasu.
I think the Highlanders' serve-receive has been amazing. I think their biggest area of struggle has been on the attack. They have 12 kills, but they have 9 errors. So they really have been inconsistent at the net.
Off bounce hit off Haczynski. Hurley tried with 2 hands. He actually got it. It looked like for a second he might have pushed it down in front of the net, but got it just over.
Yeah, that was a unique one, but
kind of see on Hurley's face as well. His eyes got all big, and he's like, all right, I actually got that. He'll take it.
NJIT, they're not going to question it, so that was clean, and now Hurley's back to serve.
Downward stop from Moorhead. Up top again for Alacia. Saved by Hurley. Wetzel over. Alacia stopped it. Right back to him. On a soft dive, it couldn't be saved by Hudson. 16-11, Buckeyes up by 5.
Great diving effort from libero Drew Hudson. He's the other Buckeye captain this season, just a sophomore, the first ever sophomore at Ohio State for men's volleyball to be a captain.
And they just attacked the captain and got a point. Serve is ace.
We asked Coach Birch, why is a sophomore a captain? And, you know, he said it comes down to the volleyball knowledge in his family and also just his work ethic. We were here after hours talking to Coach Birch, and Hudson was the only player still in the gym getting reps in.
And you talk about Hudson himself. I mean, his father, Travis Hudson, is a volleyball coach at Western Kentucky in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So he has been involved in this game since he was a kid. And, you know, now here at Ohio State, the opportunity to do it in the MIVA, and you have that C across your chest as well. I mean, that is something that obviously has only happened once in program history for a reason.
Yeah, it's a huge honor. And as a libero, being involved in almost every single play, he's doing a great job so far. He has an assist and 5 digs tonight.
Henwood Rodriguez tried to sneak one over, but an attack error for the Buckeyes. They're up by 4. You got to give it to NJIT. They saw that one coming, let it go, and as much as they're down 4, they're playing this even closer, like it might be a 1 or 2 point set here. Some trickeration back to Haczynski, but it didn't work. Defense holding strong.
NJIT fighting their way back into this one.
Brady Jones, the freshman middle for the Buckeyes, in as well. He faked it and left it alone for Haczynski.
Haczynski gets his 6th kill. He now leads all players on both teams in kills so far tonight. He also leads all players in points. He's got a blocking assist, 2 aces, and 2 assists. How about that?
Got something all across the board. Ace for Henwood Rodriguez. Another athlete with a very strong athletic background. His parents both went to UPenn, where his father played baseball and football, and his mother played volleyball. And I know you talked about it a little earlier. He's, you know, not the tallest guy on the court itself. He's still 6'3".
Right.
He's still tall in normal standards.
He's very tall from normal standards. It's just when you look out there,
of course,
you see that he almost has a height disadvantage, but that's just the nature of men's volleyball.
I mean, it works for him being a setter because you can be a little closer to the ground, lower center of gravity when he has to get down, setting up as well. But he's got enough of that height that if he wants to trick one over, he can do it. Talk about the opposite side of the coin. Here's Victor Novak standing 6'10", and a service error.
I'd say if the Buckeyes get another point or 2, I think.
Might see a timeout.
Yeah, I think Coach Gonsalves is going to use that next timeout so that this second set doesn't slip away.
We'll see how the serve receive looks. Looked good there. Kept alive by Moorhead. And Novak collects the point. Harrison Gerard will come in for Moorhead. Sophomore outside from Greenwich, Connecticut. He played in 1 set in that last match at Hawaii on the 4th of January. He starts him off with a curveball. Saved by Tidhar. Out of system and back into it. Fake up, Haczynski to Hurley. And a point for the Buckeyes. It's a little tough to call a timeout after something like that. Obviously, why we're not seeing Coach Gonsalves do that, because of how back and forth the rally goes. If you win that, you don't want to stop that momentum.
Exactly. It's a tough balance of wanting to break Ohio State's momentum, but not wanting to kill your own team.
Uranyuk set it up. Alacio ran into a wall. Buckeyes have a 6-point lead in set 2. That's that power Wetzel brings on defense as well.
If you're just tuning in, Ohio State took set one, 25-21.
Novak right to Henwood Rodriguez. He didn't even budge. Fake off the shoulder. Latkowski saves it. And down for Salvatores. A kill for the junior. The defense for the Buckeyes has shown up exponentially here in set two, as they're just 1 point away from taking the second set.
Set point Buckeyes, and Coach Gonsalves, he opted not even to use that final timeout, to just let his team play this out. Everyone's clapping in the Covelli Center.
It's up to Brady Jones to get the final point in set two. Up Urinyuk, back down. Buckeyes save it. Looks like a dual hit from Salvatores. They do give a point to the Highlanders. Gustavo Churkanovich in for the first time tonight. See if he can bring some spice. His team down 7. Defense keeping him alive, and it helped him. Urinyuk with the no-look kill.
The Highlanders playing through every point here, despite it being set point in the second set. I've been really impressed with their effort overall here tonight.
Especially with their backs against the wall. They're not playing like they're down. You see that right there. Andrew Fedmasu, the middle, with a cannon. Again, sometimes you just let the cards play where they line. It's working so far. And that error from Churkanovich sends us to set 3. Ohio State took the first set 25-21, and they take set 2 25-19. For set 3 here at the Covelli. Buckeyes up 2-0 on Big Ten Plus.
I think when it comes to serving, that's one of the areas where they're almost perfectly evenly matched. So if NJIT can get an edge there as well in set 3.
Looks like they might start with one. Alacia had a screwball off the hand of Henwood Rodriguez. And you see in matches like these as well, just when they go progressively throughout, you're not really going to see a 7-point advantage, 8-point advantage. The most you might see is 4 before a timeout's called, and then you get right back to it. Hurley tried doing it there, but the defense stopped him. Back again, Alacia, and Drew Hudson pancakes it back. Set up one and another. And off the defense.
Yeah, initially looked like that was heading out, but there was a touch on it from Ohio State. So NJIT comes out strong to start set number 3.
Alex Hines gets in the third set for the first time and immediately adds some impact. Wetzel, the lefty from the far side, in a collision. But it looks like everyone's okay. That was just one of those odd volleyballs that caromed away, where you're unsure if the libero or setter are going to go get it. Here's Wetzel. Small pushover from Alacia, and the defense snuffed it out. Tied it 2. the aces to error differential is about 50%. That was Ohio State's 11th service error. They have 5 aces. NJIT 4 aces to 12 service errors. So they're more like 30%, but now it's a little higher. Sometimes you see teams get into points like these, Hannah, where they somewhat lay down and let some of the freshmen get in. I don't believe we're going to see that at all from NJIT, just with how close they've been playing today. And especially when you get an error, the point back and the ball back, all you need is one good shot and you're up by 2.
Yeah, it's competitive enough that I think they're going to stick with pretty much their experienced lineup. And even Ohio State has not started to make too many substitutions yet.
Alex Hines with his first serve of the night. Up for Haczynski. Off his fellow countryman.
He gets his 7th kill. Daniel Henwood Rodriguez gets his 19th assist of the match. He's been excellent. He really emerged last season for Ohio State and became their starting setter, and he's very reliable. Like we've talked about, he's athletic, great at the net.
Can help defensively as well. Set up Figueiredo. He didn't get too much on it. Now back to Henwood Rodriguez. He was only 22 assists away last season from 1,000. He had 22 assists last night in the first game of the season. I mean, that just shows you one more match in the season, and he might have gotten over that 1,000 threshold.
Yeah, he was amazing, and I think he has such good chemistry with all the attackers, not only last season, but this year as well. And you can see how much connection he's formed with Haczynski going from last season to this season, with Shane Wetzel. And now with Hurley, who didn't get as many reps last year, but you can see that they connect as well. So that's the most important part of the setter, is how do they connect with the other players on the attack.
Parker Moorhead just collected his 7th kill of the evening. An error from Victor Novak. He's tied at 7 with Haczynski. That leads tonight's match.
22 kills from the Highlanders, 23 from the Buckeyes. And again, that difference is if NJIT could have converted a few of those 13 attacking errors into kills, that would make such a difference. That could have been the difference in set 1.
Jump back in front of the line from Moorhead. Could not get his 8th kill. He ran right into the defense. This is a very crucial point here in set 3. The difference between being up 2 and 3 may not seem like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, could be the quote-unquote beginning of the end of the set. But no budge from head coach Danny Gonsalves.
Coach Gonsalves said, a game against the Buckeyes is all about how do we respond to a team that's overwhelmingly good. And that's what he told us heading into tonight. That was their mindset. And I think they're responding really well.
I think what you see most teams doing, and as there's a service error there for the Buckeyes, is they get into these nervous clusters where you'll give up a few points, have a service error, an attack error even, and you stop playing your game, which whatever a team's game is, you know, you hear the coach speech, your game or our game. Ohio State is dealing with much of the same thing. Coach Birch said, we're trying to make sure that some of our younger guys can get into those situations and then out of them as quick as possible without making those errors. NJIT has already settled into that mindset of we're going to play our game regardless of what the score and set is. And it's helped them so far. They're within 3. And now 4. An ace for Stanislaw Haczynski.
Like we said, Haczynski did such a great job last season of just not only adjusting to playing in the U.S. and learning English and everything, but to that college volleyball here in America. And he had all the experience in Poland.
Speaking of another Polish athlete, Victor Novak, who's played with the Polish national team, just collected another kill.
Just another moment where the Buckeyes are a little still on their feet in the back row. And we've seen that a handful of times, and that's something early in this season where those are areas that they can improve.
You don't see it very often, but could this be a situation where if that or those still feet continue, Birch would take a timeout with the advantage?
I think he might. I think, you know, he was all about limiting errors, and he doesn't like how many errors they had last night, despite sweeping Central State.
You get an ace to go their way. An excuse me play from Andre Alacia.
But with this big of an advantage, 5 points, I think Coach Birch is
He'll
just going to
probably
let
it play. Yeah. But I think it's much of the same for Coach Gonsalves. I mean, arms folded. You guys can see him on your screen over there in the blue polo. He is not really budged from that position, and rightfully so. Alex Hines collects a free ball kill.
You know, he said, his words exactly were, it's better to get our butts whooped by a great team than to not have competition. And I would even argue they're not getting their butts whooped.
Not at all.
They're playing a great match against Ohio State, but he welcomes this kind of competition and sees it as a learning opportunity for his team.
I mean, you look at just the difference in this one as a strike down from Salvatore's finds some open hardwood. It's a difference of 10 points between the first and second set. If you look at the errors, there are 16 service errors and 15 attack errors. If you cut out half of those, you're within 2, if not 3, at the end of set 1 and 2. Over the top for Hurley. Punched it down from the roof.
6 kills from Daniel Hurley, 6 from Wetzel, and then 7 from Haczynski. So Ohio State offensive depth is going to be dangerous this season.
You spread the wealth of 4 different power arms who also have a major impact defensively. The defense as well for NJIT. One of the reasons they were voted preseason number 2 in the EIVA. It's in a conference with George Mason, Penn State. Bunch of really good schools to go along with it on the East Coast. Every team has that staple. Ohio's, when you look at them, just the state itself is having powerful arms like Shane Wetzel for the Buckeyes. And that's the MIVA. And then you look at the EVA, and they're defensive heavy. They grind you into games. I mean, it's just the tale of 2 different conferences playing their best ball.
Now, this is the first time we've made it to.
And first, Daniel Hurley. Have a pristine serve here. And he almost got it.
He almost got it right on that line, but it was out. Service error for Hurley, and NJIT's right back in within 5 points.
Churkanovich comes in for Alex Hines. So Gustavo, who was in at the end of set 2, helped defensively and from the service line, but he did give the Buckeyes set point in that second set with an error. Let's see his impact here offensively. He'll just clear it away to get back in system. Too much pop from Haczynski. And a point for the Highlanders. Churkanovich misses the corner. His second service ace, or error, I should say, of the night, and he's back out substitution-wise.
As it gets later in set number 3, as Ohio State has a 2-set-to-none advantage, I could see Coach Birch starting to make some more substitutions and get some other players some reps on the court.
Error for Hurley.
Yeah, as of right now, though, with NJIT still 4 points away, I don't think he's going to do anything quite yet. But if Ohio State starts to make a run, I could see some opportunities to mix up the lineup.
I'd say it seems that everybody who's playing has their jersey on, and everyone who is maybe not active today. And how did Hurley save that? A backhand slap, and the Buckeyes get the point.
Hurley is just laughing that one
he
off.
Can't believe it. My goodness. I was going to say, we haven't seen many substitutions because everyone who is active and playing tonight has their jersey on, and everyone who is not checked in has a black Ohio State shirt over their jersey. So it seems like this might be the team we see tonight. Maybe 1 or 2 extras to go into it. There's Teresi's curveball serve. And another point thanks to Shane Wetzel. They're up by 6.
Shane Wetzel has now taken the lead in kills among all players with 8.
Buckeyes only need 7 more. Jurkanovic took some heat and gave it back. Buckeyes set up, down to the ground, punch save, Alacia. And Novak collects the point in front of Hurley. It's hard in points of the game like this where you're down, where Ohio State, they're playing more of a zone defense. So getting it into that open space, like we just saw Novak do, is very impressive. Harrison Girard to Hurley. The lefty Wetzel hits it and Hudson saves it. Novak, another kill. That's his 4th of the evening. So the game is within 4.
And it looks like Coach Birch is going to pull his challenge card on this one.
It's the first one we've seen tonight as well.
Yeah, like we said, both teams have 3 challenges they can use. They are going to challenge a net fault. That NJIT was in the net here. If Ohio State gets the call overturned, they get to keep this challenge card. If not, they lose it. They have 2 left on the night. Unless it goes into a 5th set, then each team is awarded an extra challenge card.
And I think this just comes down to the clean play and officiating we've seen tonight. There have not been many calls where you're like, I don't know, it was very close. That may have been the first of, I think it could be a coin flip. Let's use the green card and figure it out.
Exactly. There's been very clean play. There's been great officiating.
It's been perfect officiating.
Yeah, so as you see down there, they're getting a replay of the entire volley so that they can see if there were any net violations. In the rare occasions that they can't make a decision, they'll call for a replay on the point. But that's typically very rare. It's confirmed there was no net violation. The point is going to stay with NJIT. The Buckeyes lose their challenge card. They still have 2 left.
I think that's a good call, though. If it's hard enough as well, if you don't have disputable evidence, you have to go with the call on the court.
Exactly.
So still within 4. Buckeyes going to try to tool the block. Haczynski, good awareness to duck down. Cross court to Wetzel. And good luck getting that one, Harrison Girard. Point Buckeyes. Haczynski, 3 aces so far. A specialist at the serve. Hold on. They haven't called it yet, and there it is. That's an ace. They're saying it took a hit off one of the Highlander players, and Coach Gonsalves will now use his first challenge card.
You know, maybe we spoke too soon saying there's no challenges, because now we're seeing both. Now, Coach Gonsalves is obviously challenging that his team did not touch that it was out.
Now, it did seem on first glimpse from where we're sitting, it looked like at the end the ball's trajectory changed.
I think there was a touch. I think that was the correct call.
That's why I think it took some debilitating with both officials to sit there and go, all right, we both saw that the ball just moved. We're going to give it to the Buckeyes here.
And again, there's no harm in using one of their challenge cards right now because they still have 2 left to carry them through unless it goes to a 5th set and then they get an extra. So I think, if anything, using that challenge card now, and you can see Coach Gonsalves talking with his team and giving them pointers, it's a time to regroup.
And a good time to use it. No touch.
There was no touch. So that call was overturned. NJIT gets the point now. Makes it a 4-point game here in the 3rd set. And they get to keep their challenge card, so they still have 3 to use. So that was an excellent decision by Coach Gonsalves to pull that challenge card.
Most people don't realize either the difference between 19 and 20 points in the 3rd set. When you're up 2 sets to nothing, a team like Ohio State might decide to either go with their all-attack lineup or their all-defense lineup, depending on the situation. Now, you give up another point on the attacker we just saw, and you're forced to play defense on a team that wants to be attacking right now. So they're a little bit uncomfortable with it being as close as it is.
Yeah, 3 points, and both teams still have both of their timeouts to use. That timeout that was earlier in the set was the media timeout, so both teams still get 2.
And much like I kind of assumed, Ohio State goes with their attack-heavy lineup. They take out the libero, Drew Hudson, and bring in another middle, Eliel Salvatores. And NJIT brings Ron Tidhar, their libero, back in. So a switch-up, defensive to offensive. And the defense still works for the Buckeyes, regardless of the lineup.
Buckeyes have reestablished their 5-point lead.
Brady Jones back in to serve. Flat-handed serve gets over. Tried to do a little tip drill to the opposite side. Alex Hines didn't put enough behind it.
It was the right idea, too, because that spot was open, but he just didn't quite get it over. Ran across the net.
That light finger push you sometimes see over. Sometimes you can get a defense to work. It would have worked if you really just had the power. And Alicia gets it. Hachinsky was going to have a difficult time to get that one.
And it probably would have been out, but Hachinsky stuck his arm up and got a touch on it. And again, those are those communication issues in the back row that Ohio State has had.
And also in a blink of an eye, it's right towards you, and instinct reaction is to just kind of throw something at it.
Yeah, you have to make that decision, split decision, if you should get a touch on it or let it go. And that's when your teammates yelling in or out really is necessary.
We heard that a lot earlier from NJIT.
Yeah, their communication has been great.
Set up for Uranyuk. Novak hits it over and saved by Hachinsky. Back for Hurley. Saved by Hudson. Push over. Saved. Back again and off the arms of Henwood Rodriguez. Alacio wins the rally for NJIT. It's a 4-point set. Uranyuk, a service error. And now the Buckeyes just need 2 to take it. When we talk to Coach Birch, after you have those rallies that don't go your way, sometimes you see this Ohio State team not crumble, but they go away from the game plan. I did not see that there. They stayed locked in. Luckily didn't have to move because of the error, but it looked like they were ready to field it regardless of what was happening. Wetzel off Tidhar. And the push down worked from Victor Novak.
Both teams with 28 kills on the night.
Buckeyes kept it and collected.
Shane Wetzel, wow. I can't believe he kept that one in play. It was landed perfectly.
And that was the third and what would have been final touch. So Wetzel had no choice but to hit it.
And he hits the line cross court and keeps it in.
Oh, man, that's great.
To get his 10th kill.
Buckeyes 1 point away from taking it. And they'll have to wait a bit longer. Hurley's got another service error. That's his 4th. Hines over to Huczynski. Salvatore has tried to push, but he caught it right to Fedmasu.
NJIT right in this one again, which we have said every set. I mean, set number 1, they fell 25-21. Set number 2, 25-19. And here they are again, 24-21. They actually have a chance to score the most they have all night if they can convert on this point.
Odd hit from Huczynski, and Hedwood sets it up for him. A dive off the arm of the freshman Alacia, and that will do it. The Buckeyes sweep NJIT in 3 sets and start the season 2-0.
Shane Wetzel led the way for Ohio State with 10 kills. He had 5 blocking assists and an ace, so he was all over the court. NJIT, they fought hard across 3 sets. They finished the night with 29 kills. They did great serving, 4 aces, and their serve receive was solid against a relentless